Hello everyone and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Today we are going to be doing something just a tad bit different. I have my embroidery module on my machine and I have my hoop and all here. We're going to see if we can figure this out. I do have a practice piece of fabric right here. I have my cutaway stabilizer that comes with Bernina. When I purchased my machine, it came with quite a few stabilizers, threads, things like that. So I'm getting my stabilizer here. This is a cutaway stabilizer. I normally use a tearaway because well, I had another embroidery machine. It looked like a sewing machine, but it did not sew. It just embroidered. So I got rid of it and got the Brother quilting machine. Goodness gracious, this tape is tearing the stabilizer up. So what I'm going to do is just measure out my hoop here, and this I think is called the maxi hoop. I believe it's what it's called. Now I have the hoop turned correct for me. It will be backwards for you. We are going to see if we can do this. I'm only putting one piece of stabilizer on this. Now this hoop, I have the B790 Pro. Y'all, my machine keeps giving me a signal to put my feed dogs down, so I'm cutting that off. To use this maxi hoop, to release it, you just press those two buttons on the sides. So what I'm doing is, let me get everything out from under it. You'll notice I have a very small area right here, and I just kind of put everything where I can get to it. So our first thing we're going to do, I have put my, see if you can see I have these on here. These hold my grid. This grid does have a center mark there. I have marked the center of this fabric right there. So what we are going to do is, now I did watch a thing on how to do this, and you actually lay everything down and put your hoop on it first and then pick it up and put it on the base. So let's try it that way. I'm going to move my base here. Now I'm doing this practice because I do want to do a sweatshirt. So what I will do, I do have some water soluble stabilizer over here that I will use, and I will cut a piece off for that. So how the tutorial that I watched showed you doing this is you lay your fabric and your, get my fabric all straight, and your stabilizer together, and you put your hoop this on the top of it. Okay, I have my hoop here. My center is marked. I have that on the center. Now what really needs to be happened here is this needs to be on the table so I can pick this up. I don't have enough room to do that. So what I am going to do is lay this right here. I'm going to grab on this side and grab on this side. Now, so that is tight. I think I might have got off center there a little bit. But what we do is we pull it, making sure my fabric is all. Now, I mean, I know we've always been taught not to move the fabric once it's heaped. But sometimes you just can't help it. But you do not want your fabric to be like a drum. Now I've pushed this down and my center came over here. So I know I need to get my fabric over just a little bit more. And let's try that again. Okay, that is closer. I am straightening my fabric out because it does have a little press wrinkle in there. So now I know I'm not supposed to be tugging on this, but I'm not tugging it to change the position. Oops, that one came off. Change the position of that. So make sure we're down good. Now I've got to close and tighten that. Okay, so this is ready to go. Now all we do is lift our guide out of the way. I'm just going to lay it over here. Now let me bring you to the machine. Now here you will see our machine. I'm going to show you. I have placed my design on a thumb drive. I have my water soluble. This is called Heat to Go. And what I am going to do is put this on the top of my fabric once I start doing the embroidery. We do need to change our foot, so I'm going to press this lever back. And I do need to take the thread that is in here out. So how I do that is I find my thread right here and I cut it, and then I pull it from the needle. You don't want to create lint in your machine. So here I have my embroidery foot. Let me put it there so maybe you can see it. And what I do is I put it right under there. There are a few things I would like to show you about doing your embroidery module. You do need to change out the plate here. You just press that and you're able to change it out. This is the embroidery module plate that you should use right here. I'm putting that back on. You do drop your feed dogs. You change your presser, your foot to the embroidery foot. I will be using, I think this is called Isocord 40. This is polyester thread. This is what came with my embroidery machine. Otherwise, I do have, I'm not sure the brand of it, but I do have a lot of embroidery thread already that is 100% polyester. I'm going to show you how to do the design on here. Now, I've already showed you how to hoop. Now, some of this I am learning also for myself. So I am learning some of the things. One of the things I do need to learn, I have done this before and I don't know how I did it and I can't do it now, but it's looking like my machine has, the memory is full. So I don't know how that happened, but I have my Bernina thumb drive and I'll show you here. This is my Bernina thumb drive. And I have downloaded a pattern on here before and used it, and I removed it, so it should not have taken any space up. And I added the pattern that I wanted to use today, but every time I go to use it, my machine is telling me that it is 99% full. So to me, that means I have a memory at full capacity. I'm sure there's something on that I've put on here that I'm not aware it is storing, and I need to remove that. But I will do a little more research. Now, this is my water soluble. I think it's water soluble. But it is a stabilizer. And I did use this with my prior machine that I had. So I'll just let you know that I have used this before. So what I'm going to do, I have my fabric hooped. I am just going to slide it under here, raise that presser foot just a little bit, and I'm attaching. And what you want to do is make sure that nothing is under your hoop. Now, I already have my pattern up here on the machine, and it tells me what colors to use. The first color I am going to use, it calls for Isacord 402152, and I'm using 2153 because that's the one I have. So now that I do need to find my center because it's not at the center. I don't know. We have the center. I'm going to see how far off this is. I've got to get my okay, now I have my top stabilizer on here. Okay, so now I am at the bottom of my pattern, and it's telling me I'm using the light pink. So you hit your green flashing button. I know you cannot see that. I am making sure my top stabilizer stays. Okay, now our embroidery part is done. Now I need to change out my threads. Now the one thing I worry about, I've never done this with this machine. The one thing I do worry about is rethreading this. Let me see if it'll do it. Okay, it is. It does rethread in the middle. So we are going to start the rest of our embroidery. Okay guys, I am going to show you how to take this off. I just slide this right out. I am going to lay my hoop over here out of the way. Now the next thing I am going to do is I will show you how to remove the foot. You will raise it and then pull this out. This is the module, not a foot. But I'm going to leave mine on because I do have another project I want to do. So let me turn you up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so now I have you here. I know you can't see me. I'll lean down if I can. So now I have you here with me where my design is. Now, when I had a previous machine, I always left it hooped when I was tearing my tearaway. And I just do it straight across the design and do it gentle. There's no need to rip. You may make a string come loose or something. I just don't like to tear real hard at it. I guess this is a test. Why don't I just do it to see what it does? Because this isn't going to be used for anything. It's just a test. So let's do it. Comes off pretty good. But I wouldn't want to do that on something that, like a sweatshirt or something. But let me go on and get this off. Now, I will show you another little tool that I learned about when I was embroidering before. This is a seam rubber tip. You can take that little rubber tip and go over this and it pulls it right on out. Like if you have these letters here that you need to get it off of, because see, like we've got legs here, and what it does, it makes it, if nothing else, it'll pull it loose from one set of stitches where you can pull it out. So we are I can't really tell if I have it all or not, but it's not going to matter because this here, all you have to do is heat this up and it'll dissolve off. It's that heat to go, I think is what it's called. This is my completed design. I don't know if you can really see what that says. It says Pretty in Pink. Now, the next step, to remove this hoop, I'm going to show you up close. See that there? There are two levers right there on the sides. You just press those in and it comes loose like that. So now I'm going to, and I just drop that back down in, squeeze them, tighten it. Now I am going to lay that there. The next thing that I am going to show you, this is a cutaway. Now for cutaway, I know people do them a lot of different ways. This is how I do it. Let me see if I can. No, you can't tear this one at all. What I do for cutaways, I lay it design down and I pull my fabric back. So I'm going to start on my short side here. Now see, I can use that piece again if I have a small something. And make sure, let's turn this one here. Because we have the most stuff right there on the end, so we're just gonna, you can save that and use it for another project. You know that I always try to find a way to save stuff because I think, well, you know, I could have a small something I can do, and this does come with a really small hoop. So now let me show you on the back. This is what we're looking at on the back. Now, if you wanted this on a hoodie or something, you could use that clear on both sides. But yeah, this is what our completed project looks like. It says Pretty in Pink. I am going to be doing a little more research so I can get a little bit more in depth on the embroidery part because I have 2 grandbabies now, so I want to do things for my grandbabies. But I do have, and every time I try to put my thumb drive with a folder on it, I get an error on my machine. I know it's a memory error. I just have to figure out how to take care of that. So next time I come back doing an embroidery project, I will let y'all know what I have found. I'm all about researching. I have both of my books. I have my owner's manual. I have my embroidery book. I've been reading both of them, but I could not find how to solve that error. So I will figure that out, and I will let you know how I figured that out. But if you like this type of video, give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, go on and subscribe. I have a whole bunch of crafting, sewing videos that I will do. I will say I am going to be doing in 2024 a vintage quilt. I'm going to call it restoration. I don't know exactly what it's going to end up being. I will be working on the box of quilt tops that I found of my grandmother's. So that will be coming in 2024. So y'all go on and subscribe if you'd like to see something like that. Leave a comment. If you know how to clear that error, let me know. I will greatly appreciate it. But I will do my own research if I need to and find out how to clear that error out. It's really just telling me when I plug my thumb drive in, and I have the Bernina thumb drive. I do have the Bernina thumb drive. I have put my pattern on this thumb drive because I've tried using other thumb drives and they just don't work. I think you may have to use a Bernina, but I'm not going to swear on that. But I just used my Bernina thumb drive, put it in there. So I don't know if it's the Bernina thumb drive that's full or if it's my machine. Well, it has to be my machine because my machine shows 99%. So I have to figure out how to clear that out. So leave in the comment if you know how to do that, you're a Bernina owner and you get that, let me know how to fix that. I do respond to each and every comment personally, and as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.